Welcome to Determined Women of Destiny, the show that gives you the business, the good, the bad, and the beautiful of female entrepreneurship, providing business empowerment through inspirational motivation. I am your host, Yvonne, the Motivator Man. I have with me this morning, I am so excited, two young women that are taking the stage by storm. I have their their agent, producer, director with me also, and we're going to talk about that Motown Band. So everybody, I know you're saying, okay, that Motown Band, but these two women weren't even born at the time that this music was made, and they sing it like crazy. So I'm going to let Lon Dobler come in and just give us a little information about that Motown Band and the two singers that I'm going to introduce to you shortly. Good morning, Lon. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me on your show, Yvonne. And yeah, we're very fortunate to have these two girls in the band. In fact, playing in a Motown band, because I also play bass in the band, was something I always wanted to do. As a bass player, this is interesting music, and and something I've always wanted to do. We started the band, and of course, Nathina was the first singer in the band. And at one of our rehearsals, her sister came along, Natasha, and was sitting and watching. And so I turned to Nathina. I said, "Well, does your sister sing too?" Because I figured if Nathina had such a beautiful voice, maybe her sister had a beautiful voice too. And Natasha was pretty shy, but she got up and she sang, and the rest is history. What is really so unusual about Nathina and Natasha, this is not the music that they would sing. In fact, I could tell you, it's probably not even the music they might choose. But the fact that they do it so authentically is quite incredible. And that's what's so special about Nathina and Natasha. Really, they're not singing music that's the music that's in their generation. And they feel it and they sing it so well. And it's really amazing. In fact, I actually believe in some cases they sing the songs even more authentically than the original artists, which is just unbelievable. They feel the music, and you have to feel this music to sing it. And so this is what's so special about what they do.
I agree with you. I've been listening to the music, and I am just really blown away. Just the voice, the quality, and the feeling that they sing these songs. Yeah, it is not the music that they would be singing or, even listening to. But you're right.
Yeah, and I have a feeling when you speak with the girls, they'll tell you about the music that they like, and it's not necessarily. I'm not saying they don't like the Motown music, but if they were choosing what music they would sing to perform, it would be other music. There's no question in my mind, and this is what's so incredible. In fact, I'm thinking I asked Nathina to sing a song called "Come Get These Memories," and I think in the beginning she was like, I don't know if I want to sing that song. I actually believe she sings it better than Martha. That's just my opinion. And it's become one of our better songs. It's the same thing with Natasha. Some of the music we're giving her, which is more along the lines of the Supremes, she really nails the music, and people in the audience respond to it. So we're very fortunate, And this is iconic music. I mean, this is special music.
Yes, it is.
That crossed the boundary in the public's imagination. If you think about it, I don't know if I can pick a genre of music that did that as much as the Motown music did it. And it's a good music for our times, quite frankly.
And I believe that music at the time when Motown was really big, it talked about all the things that our country and people were struggling through. And, we're back at that time now. So bringing that music back right now is perfect timing. Just perfect.
It is perfect timing because, there may not have been music back in the day that a Black audience and a white audience would listen to the same way. And that's really the truth. This crossed that boundary and did it exceptionally well. And then, of course, Berry Gordy, because Motown is a studio. It's just what it is. It's related to a type of music, but it is music that came from a specific studio. And he started having his artists appear on American Bandstand. This is not something that you had before. the Motown music. And so it did cross those lines. And quite frankly, I agree. It's something that I think is important for today as well.
And I think that Natasha and Nathina are crossing those lines of the younger generation back to that now. So I want to welcome Nathina and Natasha. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning. Good morning.
So you have to tell me how two young ladies under a certain age got involved with singing Motown music. And if you don't, I believe both of you are under the age of 35. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're under the age of 35. You're singing Motown. I heard one of you sing Love Child, and I'm like, what you know about Love Child? Love Child. And you're singing it like, oh yeah, I heard them when they sang it. I saw them at the concert, and now I'm replicating that. So just give me a little background. How did both of you get involved?
Well, I guess I'll start. This is Nathina. Thanks again, Yvonne, for having us. This is very exciting for me and my sister to get some publicity here with that Motown Band. It's such an honor. I started singing I was the first singer in the band back when, I don't even know, what was this, 20, Lon, you have to help me with this, 2015?
Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, so. And when I first auditioned for the band, I've always been attracted to music that my parents used to listen to. So when you say that you grew up with this music, Yvonne, and Lon grew up with this music, in a way, I also grew up with this music. I mean, it wasn't current when I was listening to it, but it was current during my parents' time. And it was kind of like how I connected with my parents. It was always through music. I started singing in church when I was about 5 years old. I went to school for music. I studied classical voice, and I was in a jazz band for a while. And that's kind of like how I started on the scene, was just singing jazz music, which has always been like my preferred style of music. So that's kind of a little bit about my educational background and singing career background, if you will.
So Natasha, tell me, how did the singing bird just come alive in you? How did it spread its wings in your life?
Well, same as Nathina said, we grew up with Motown in our lives when we were very young. I have a lot of memories of singing with my dad. And so I grew a love for Motown really, really young. My absolute favorite is The Temptations. And so, I grew up also singing in church. And then I went on to, being the choir director of the children's choir and then the choir director of the adult choir. So I kind of just grew up in that world. And, I had went to, like Lon was saying, I went to a rehearsal one day with Nathina, and I was kind of just sitting there, listening, watching. And Lon came up to me and he's like, can you sing like your sister? And I'm like, I can't sing like her, but I do sing. And he's like, oh, you know what? You should come to one of our rehearsals. So I was like, okay. And, I didn't really plan on going, but he had got my number from Nathina. He texted me the day of, he gave me his address, told me, what time to be there. I get there, just expecting to, sit, away from the band and just watch again. And he's like, oh, I have a stool for you and a mic, and you could sit down and sing whenever you're ready. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so, I just sang wherever, and I knew all of the music. So I kind of just sang, whatever came naturally to me. And the next day I received an email from Lon welcoming me to the band.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That's pretty much how it went.
It didn't take very long for me to make that decision.
Oh, that's something. You go to accompany your sister and end up a band member.
Yep.
So now that you're in the Motown Band and you've got that feel of, just traveling and just touring, tell me a little bit about December 17th, what we're going to see in that performance.
Well, I mean, I don't want to give too much away.
No, just a little, just a little. So that we buy our tickets and we make sure that we're checking it out.
Well, I mean, we are doing some of the classics, like Mom was saying. We've curated, I think, a well, a well-suited set list that kind of highlights the places of my voice where I can really shine, with doing some of the Martha Vandella stuff, and also some of the highlights for Natasha with doing some of the Supremes. I will say that there are some rocking duets that we do with some of our male counterparts, Kevin and Garfield, and that's always fun to see. I think we're trying to bring back some more duets.
Yeah, that is also something we should mention, that the duets are really quite spectacular, and we have two male singers, Kevin Morris, who sounds a lot like Smokey Robinson or Eddie Kendricks, and we have Garfield Fleming, who was a member of the Delphonics. Just one thing I'd like to mention, also it's unusual, the girls are young. A lot of the Motown bands today, the singers will be a little bit older. That's also what's a little bit unusual. These girls are young. And so when people see us on the stage, it's a mixture of people. You've got, I'm a little bit older, although I'm in the background, because, Motown is about the singers more than anything. But if you look at our singers, you've got quite a bit of youth up front, but then you've got Garfield Fleming, who's in his 60s. But, when they do the duets, it's quite spectacular. And it's quite interesting, and people really respond to it. So the show will be a mixture of all the hits from the Motown era. So, and you will get to hear and see the voices of Nathina and Natasha, which is quite incredible.
And I think also, just to add, is that, with the pre-recorded shows that we have done before in the past, those were a little bit different because we were all in our homes, in our own spaces, and we kind of had to create an environment. So what will be really nice this time is for all of us to be together. You get a different vibe and a different type of chemistry on stage. And I think people will really be drawn to that because there's so much more magic that happens on stage when we're all together.
Yeah. Definitely.
Wonderful. When we come back from break, I want to continue discussing that vibe and that magic. And you guys stay tuned. Don't leave. Don't go anywhere. Just make sure you come back after this commercial break. Have you always wanted your own private chef? Doesn't that sound good? Well, stay tuned for Cooking with Chef Mark Anthony Bynum.
How you guys doing? Chef Mark Bynum Concepts with another holiday cooking tip. This is Christmas season. Everybody's going to start to talk about their New Year's resolutions and how they should eat healthy and how they want to lose weight. I tell you guys to start during Christmas time and eat some seafood. The Italian-American tradition of 7 fishes is great, but when you think about it, it's kind of smart. It helps your body digest. It doesn't put so much heaviness on you during the season, and it can just roll into your New Year's resolution that everybody has, that they just want to lose weight and start to eat healthy. So get those omega-3s in your system. Get that good fat in your system. Eat that salmon. Eat that halibut. Try some different seafood, some shrimp and some lobster. It might be more expensive, but it's definitely better for your health. Chef Mark Bynum Concepts. Embroil it, sear it, bake it, poach it. Don't fry it. Mark Bynum Concepts. You can find me on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Chef Mark Bynum. You guys have a great one.
Welcome back to Determined Women of Destiny. If you're just tuning in, I am your host, Yvonne, the Motivator Man, and I have 2 of the singers in that Motown band. It is Natasha and Nathina, and I'm here also with their director, producer, and manager, Lon Dobler. We've been discussing December 17th, which is a concert that you have to make sure that you buy your tickets. You cannot miss this concert. It's going to be fantastic. And if you're asking me what the concert is, it's that Motown band. It's all of the Motown songs that we remember. And I've been listening to some of their stuff on YouTube, and it is absolutely fantastic. Another reason why This concert is really, really good. It's the holiday season, and we have Corona in the air, and everybody wants to go out. But please, people, be safe. Don't lose your head over a holiday. Make sure you keep your mask on, wash your hands, social distancing. And you know what? Have your family, get a couple of friends, and check out that Motown Band December 17th. I'm going to let Lon and Natasha and Nathina tell us exactly how we can get our tickets and a little bit more about that Motown Band. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, the show is actually being simulcast between two theaters. You can go to the West Hampton Performing Arts Theater, and they online you'll see there's an announcement with a place where you can buy a ticket. But it's also going to be simulcast to Broadway on the Town Hall, which is one of the iconic theaters, and you can buy your tickets through their site as well. And this is what we may see in the future, which is theaters coming together to do a show. And I actually think that once the pandemic is over, you will see streaming will continue. It's just a good way to maximize the revenue. And, so it'll be interesting because we'll be on the stage at West Hampton, but the patrons of the Town Hall Theater will see us. They won't be in the theater, and there's nobody in the theater at West Hampton either. But their audiences, their patrons who bought tickets before can buy tickets now, and anybody can buy a ticket, and they'll get to hear the band and see the band live on the stage at West Hampton.
And for $15, you have the best seat in the house. You do not have to worry about, am I going to be in the nosebleed seats, or am I going to be on the far left or the far right? Your seat is the best seat in the house. And what a wonderful way to just celebrate the middle of the holidays. We're already in the start of it. And it's a great gift to give to family members, hey, listen, can't see you this year, but I am sending you a ticket to that Motown Band. You enjoy, I think that you're absolutely right. We are going to continue the streaming. I think that people are just getting used to it, and we're enjoying it a lot more. Staying home with family a lot more. Life was so busy. I myself, had to work from home for a little bit, and I didn't realize how much out of the house I always was. I'm furnishing and paying for a place to live, and my time in it was minimal. So now that we are in the house, put your decorations up and listen to that Motown Band. Natasha and Nathina, tell me, what are your plans for this holiday season other than singing with the band? Do you have anything exciting planned?
I mean, well, as sisters, we're going to be together with our families. We do Secret Santa every year, so that's always very exciting. We have some new additions and significant others who will be with us for the holidays as well. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, I want to cue up this clip, and I hope it comes over well so that my listeners can hear this music. So hopefully it does what I want it to do. Well, the first singer was Natasha, blowing.
It was me, Nathina, actually.
Oh, it was you, Nathina?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And the second singer then was Natasha. And when I heard that clip, and disclaimer, I do not own the rights to that music, but when I heard that clip, I had to play it back again. And I was like, wow, I get it. When I spoke to Lon initially, he, talked about how fabulously you guys sung. And I was like, okay. But when I heard that, I was like, I gotta get my tickets. Yes, I gotta get my ticket. I do not want to miss this at all.
Well, Yvonne, you know that the first time we did that song, I got so caught up listening to it that I actually stopped playing, and the musical director looked at me and was like, what are you doing? He says, you become part of the audience. You're not in the audience, you're the bass player in the background. Yeah. By the way, I should just tell you, that's primarily my role. I'm really more the facilitator and manager, and a bass player that's in the background, because this is about the singers. Johnny Gale is our musical director, and we're lucky to have him because he's quite well known as a session musician, and he insists that we do the music authentically. I think Nathina and Natasha could tell you a little bit about their experience with
There's
Johnny.
definitely something very special about Johnny. He knows how to pull out like the authentic sound. I can say that I have like a natural gift, but his direction is definitely a huge part in why we sound as authentic as we sound. And that's very much true for myself. I can probably speak for Natasha and say that, and maybe even for Lon as a bass player, I know that he helps you with some of those bass lines, and he just knows like how to pull it out of you. Yeah,
he does. He'll hear you play something and he'll go, what are you playing? I said, well, I downloaded it from. He says, wait a second, I know the people that wrote that music. They would never have written that line that way. And the truth is, he does know the people that have written a lot of this music, and he's played with a lot of those people. So we're lucky that he forces us. At times it's frustrating though, because he may make, the girls will tell you, he can make them sing a line 50 times. I'm sitting in the back going, it's not good to first time.
That's not an exaggeration. Sorry, Johnny.
No, not at all. But we love you.
Well, evidently, whatever he does it well, because this band is everything. And my listeners know I always say that when I think something is so fabulous, but this band is everything. Go to YouTube, check them out. And again, like I said, make sure you get your tickets. I just think this is a great thing to share with others. And can you please tell me a little bit about your lineup? What else can we look forward to that Motown Band streaming, and we'll be able to get tickets and enjoy?
Well, we were scheduled, and we are scheduled at theaters. We'll see if it happens. We're actually scheduled at the Count Basie Theater on March the 27th. Now, whether that'll happen, that's a live performance, we don't know, but it probably would get moved. The date would get moved. We're scheduled even in North Carolina at a theater, but again, this is all tentative now. So what we're doing is we're focusing on, producing content in the studio, and we offer the content out to theaters who are closed, and they can actually play that content to their audience. So, right now we're a little bit up in the air. We hope that, we'll have this vaccine soon, and hopefully the country will get back to normal. We'll be performing on a stage, because as the girls will tell you, it's good that we get to go to the studio and we're producing the music, but it's not the same as performing live on a stage with an audience in front of you where you can interact, because so much is performance, and it's very hard to interact when there's nobody sitting in front of you, so.
The crowd and the energy that the crowd gives you and that you give them, and that exchange, that is definitely not there right now.
And it helps too.
Yeah, going to a podcast for me was different also, because like you said, it's the audience, you're in the studio. I'm also a speaker, so the vibe that the people I'm speaking to energizes me, and now I have to do all of the stuff that I would do face to face online. And it's kind of hard because, I have all the hand movements and the head movements and the eye movements, and it can't work because like right now I'm moving and my light is shifting with me. So it's a little bit hard to get used to. But, you know, that's where we are right now.
Yvonne, the girls have also performed outside of Motown with our band. We performed with Felix Cavalieri of the Rascals and with Lala Brooks of the Crystals. And both of them were like, well, those girls are good. And Lala Brooks sang Do Ron Ron and He Kissed Me. I mean, that's an two iconic songs. They're not the Motown, but we have performed with her and with Felix Cavalieri of the Rascals. And so we've been fortunate. And in both cases, I got remarks from both of them that the girls are very, very good.
That is great. That is great. So for both of you ladies, what's next in your future? We know you're singing and you're enjoying it. And, when we open back up to go out and play, you'll be, touring again. But what's some of the other things that you do? Let my listeners kind of get a feel of who you are.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I was like, okay, who's going first? Who's going
first? So for me, I want music to be my everything, to put simply. So my focus right now, going into the new year, I have made it a point to start writing again and record and put something out there because, this is what I love. I don't really want to do anything else. I don't see myself doing anything else. I don't need to be famous. I love to sing, and I want to be able to make people feel. That's the one thing that I love about singing in that Motown band and singing period, is that you can make people feel. And I believe that that's like my sole purpose, is to be an inspiration. And that's what I want to share. So I'm definitely going to be working on some music of my own. And that's pretty much it. Corona has us inside, but I'm remaining very positive and trying to be as productive as possible. And also giving some time to myself to do some inner work. Because, when you're giving a lot out, you also have to give some back to yourself. So, that's pretty much it.
What about the bass? You told me you're taking up the bass.
I do. I have plans of buying a bass. So we'll see how that goes,
Okay, Nathina?
Yeah, actually, I have my hands full with that Motown band. I do really enjoy singing in a band, but I am thinking about the new year and what new things we can be doing since we're all home. I've been thinking about starting up a podcast, believe it or not.
Yes.
And, so listening to some of what you're saying, it's, kind of, inspiring me. So that's kind of
wonderful. And that's what the show is supposed to do. I want to thank all of you for coming on and telling us about that Motown Sound. We will definitely keep our eyes and ears open so that we can be groupies and follow you. I usually ask to give, something motivational so that the listeners can be inspired, but you two ladies already just did it. So I wish you the best of everything that the new year will bring you. And you've been listening to Determined Women of Destiny. I have been your host, Yvonne the Motivator Man. The show is sponsored by Slinger Haskell Funeral Home. My creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Until next time, good people, remember, keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.